Quiet People, written and published by N. Gosling. Inside the world of those who master the art of strategic silence lies a fascinating paradox. Their quiet presence often speaks louder than 1,000 words. While society celebrates the loud and outspoken, a select group has discovered an almost mystical power in choosing when not to speak, creating an aura of intrigue, authority, and unshakable inner peace that naturally commands respect. These aren't people trapped in social anxiety or fear. They're master practitioners of selective silence who understand that true power often lies not in filling space with words, but in creating space through purposeful quiet. What these individuals know, and what history's most influential figures often practiced, is that silence isn't just the absence of speech. It's a force field of observation, discernment, and influence that allows you to move through life unbothered by drama while magnetically attracting opportunities that the eternally chattering miss entirely. Lesson 1. Silence holds hidden power. In a world that celebrates the loudest voices and most outspoken personalities, silence carries an often overlooked power that has shaped history, influenced decisions, and transformed lives. The strength found in silence isn't merely the absence of noise. It's a dynamic force that operates beneath the surface of human interaction, wielding influence in ways that loud voices never could. The power of silence manifests itself in various forms throughout our daily lives. When someone maintains their composure in a heated argument, their silence often speaks volumes more than any words could. This psychological phenomenon occurs because silence creates a space that others instinctively feel compelled to fill, often revealing more about themselves than they intended. It's a natural human response. We become uncomfortable with prolonged silence and rush to fill it, sometimes to our detriment. Scientific research has consistently shown that periods of silence strengthen our brain's ability to process information and make decisions. During quiet moments, our brain's default mode network activates, allowing for deeper self-reflection and improved emotional regulation. This neurological response to silence explains why many great thinkers throughout history have sought solitude and quiet contemplation to develop their most revolutionary ideas. Historical figures who mastered the art of quiet influence have left indelible marks on human civilization. Take Rosa Parks, whose quiet defiance sparked a revolution, or Mahatma Gandhi, whose silent protests shook an empire. These individuals understood that silence, when wielded with purpose and conviction, could move mountains. Their power came not from shouting the loudest, but from standing firm in their quiet resolve. The strength of silence extends beyond historical examples into our modern professional world. In boardrooms and business meetings, those who speak less but listen more often gain deeper insights and make more informed decisions. They develop a reputation for thoughtfulness and wisdom, their words carrying more weight precisely because they use them sparingly. This strategic use of silence becomes a form of social currency, earning respect and attention when they do choose to speak. Silent power also manifests in personal relationships. Those who master the art of comfortable silence in conversations often build deeper connections with others. They create space for genuine expression and understanding, allowing relationships to develop naturally rather than forcing them through constant chatter. This ability to sit with silence demonstrates emotional maturity and self-assurance that others naturally gravitate toward. Learning to harness silent power begins with understanding its nature. Silent power isn't passive. It's an active force that requires conscious cultivation. It starts with becoming comfortable in silence, observing more than speaking, and developing an acute awareness of when silence serves better than words. This practice involves training yourself to resist the urge to fill every quiet moment with sound or conversation. The practice of silent power extends to body language and presence. Those who master silence often develop a commanding presence that doesn't require words to be felt. They learn to communicate through subtle gestures, meaningful glances, and intentional positioning. This nonverbal mastery often proves more effective than verbal communication in conveying authority, empathy, or understanding. Silence also serves as a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discovery. In moments of quiet reflection, we often find our truest thoughts and most authentic insights. This internal dialogue, uninterrupted by external noise, allows us to develop stronger self-awareness and make decisions aligned with our values and goals. The power of silence isn't about remaining permanently quiet or avoiding necessary communication. Instead, it's about understanding when silence serves us better than speech and learning to use both with intention and purpose. As we develop this understanding, we begin to recognize silence not as an absence of something, but as a presence in itself, a presence that carries its own unique and formidable power. Lesson 2. Peace lives in quiet minds. In our perpetually buzzing world, finding mental clarity has become increasingly rare and precious. The connection between silence and mental clarity is profound, yet often overlooked in our constant pursuit of information, stimulation, and noise. When we embrace quiet moments, we create space for our minds to process, heal, and flourish. The human mind naturally gravitates toward clarity when given the opportunity to rest in silence. This isn't merely an abstract concept. Neuroscience has shown that periods of quiet activate our brain's default mode network, allowing for deeper self-reflection, enhanced creativity, and improved problem-solving abilities. This mental clarity doesn't require elaborate techniques or expensive equipment. It simply asks us to be still and present. Meditation and mindfulness serve as gateways to this mental clarity. These practices aren't about forcing thoughts away, but rather about observing them without attachment. Start with just 5 minutes of sitting quietly, focusing on your breath. Notice how thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky, without trying to chase or suppress them. This simple practice, when done regularly, begins to clear the mental clutter that accumulates throughout our days. The process of clearing mental clutter extends beyond formal meditation. Throughout your day, look for opportunities to embrace mini moments of silence. Turn off the radio during your morning commute. Step away from your desk for a few minutes of quiet reflection. Put your phone on silent during meals. These small acts of choosing quiet over noise gradually transform your mental landscape. Building a peaceful mindset requires patience and consistent practice. Think of it as tending a garden. You wouldn't expect flowers to bloom immediately after planting seeds. Similarly, mental clarity develops over time through regular cultivation of quiet moments. Each time you choose silence over noise, you're nurturing the soil of your mind, creating conditions for peace to flourish. The beauty of developing a quiet mind lies in its ripple effects throughout your life. When your mind is clear, decision-making becomes more intuitive. Relationships improve as you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Creative solutions emerge more readily when your mind isn't cluttered with unnecessary noise. Work becomes more focused and efficient when you operate from a place of mental clarity. Consider implementing regular quiet hours in your daily routine. These designated periods of reduced external stimulation allow your mind to process and integrate experiences. During these times, avoid screens, conversations, and other forms of input. Simply exist in the quiet. You might be surprised by the insights and solutions that naturally arise when you give your mind space to breathe. Physical spaces play a crucial role in fostering mental clarity. Create a quiet corner in your home dedicated to silent reflection. This doesn't need to be elaborate. A comfortable chair by a window, a cushion in a peaceful nook, or even a specific spot in your garden can serve as your sanctuary. Having a designated quiet space makes it easier to maintain a regular practice of mental decluttering. As you cultivate a peaceful mind through silence, you'll notice an increased ability to maintain clarity, even in noisy situations. This inner quiet becomes a portable sanctuary you can access anywhere, anytime. It's like developing an internal volume control that allows you to turn down the mental noise when needed, regardless of external circumstances. Building a quiet mind isn't about achieving perfect silence or completely empty thoughts. It's about creating space between thoughts, reducing mental chatter, and fostering an environment where peace can naturally emerge. Through consistent practice and patience, you'll discover that true peace doesn't require external silence. It lives within the quiet spaces you create in your own mind, Lesson 3. Strong souls need few words. In a world that celebrates constant chatter and endless self-expression, there exists a profound truth. Those with the strongest souls often need the fewest words to make their mark. The art of meaningful communication isn't about filling every silence or dominating every conversation. It's about understanding the weight and impact of carefully chosen words. When we speak less, each word carries greater significance. Consider the difference between a rushing river and a deep well. The river makes constant noise as it flows, while the well holds its water in silent strength. Our words can function similarly. Those who speak continuously often dilute their message, while those who speak selectively tend to leave lasting impressions. Quality communication emerges from a place of inner strength and self-awareness. This strength develops naturally when we take time to understand our thoughts and feelings before expressing them. Unlike reactive communication, which stems from immediate emotional responses, thoughtful communication allows us to share our truth with precision and impact. Living authentically doesn't require constant verbal affirmation or explanation. True authenticity manifests in actions, choices, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are. When we're secure in our identity, we don't feel compelled to explain ourselves or seek validation through endless conversation. This security allows us to move through life with grace, speaking only when our words add value to a situation. The practice of selective expression also helps develop deeper connections with others. When we listen more than we speak, we create space for genuine understanding. This approach to relationship building focuses on quality over quantity. Rather than filling conversations with surface-level chatter, we can engage in meaningful exchanges that strengthen bonds and foster mutual respect. Inner strength flourishes in the spaces between words. These moments of silence allow us to process our experiences, reflect on our values, and align our actions with our beliefs. This internal harmony becomes visible to others through our presence and demeanor, often communicating more effectively than words ever could. The relationship between strong souls and minimal speech extends to professional settings as well. In meetings, negotiations, and leadership roles, those who speak deliberately often command more attention and respect than those who dominate discussions. Their words carry weight because they're chosen with purpose and delivered with conviction. Developing this strength requires practice and patience. It begins with observing our speech patterns and noticing when we talk out of habit rather than necessity. As we become more conscious of our verbal expressions, we can start to differentiate between essential communication and superfluous talk. The art of meaningful communication also involves understanding the power of nonverbal expression. A genuine smile, a compassionate glance, or a moment of shared silence can convey deeper meaning than a lengthy monologue. Strong souls recognize that communication encompasses the full spectrum of human expression, not just spoken words. By embracing the power of fewer words, we create space for deeper self-discovery and more authentic connections. This approach doesn't mean becoming completely silent or avoiding social interaction. Rather, about finding the sweet spot where our communication serves our true purpose and reflects our inner strength. As we cultivate this balance between speech and silence, we discover that our strongest messages often come through in the quietest moments. Our presence becomes more impactful, our relationships more meaningful, and our inner peace more profound. In a world that often mistakes quantity for quality, the ability to communicate effectively with fewer words becomes a remarkable strength. The path to developing this strength is ongoing. Each day presents new opportunities to practice intentional communication, to choose our words wisely, and to let our actions speak louder than our voices. As we continue this journey, we find that true power lies not in how much we say, but in how authentically we express ourselves through carefully chosen words and meaningful silence. Lesson 4. Calm energy attracts respect. In a world that often celebrates the loudest voices in the room, there exists a profound truth. Calm energy naturally draws others toward it. Like a still pond that reflects the sky with perfect clarity, Individuals who maintain their composure create an atmosphere of stability and trustworthiness that others instinctively respect. Personal energy is more than just a New Age concept. It's the subtle yet powerful force we carry with us into every interaction. This energy manifests in our body language, facial expressions, and the way we occupy space. When we cultivate calm energy, we create an invisible field of influence that affects everyone around us. Think of it as the difference between a rushing river and a deep ocean. Both contain immense power, but the ocean's depth commands more respect through its steady presence. The beauty of calm energy lies in its effortless nature. Unlike those who constantly seek attention through words or actions, quiet individuals who maintain their composure naturally draw others into their orbit. This magnetic effect occurs because humans are instinctively drawn to those who appear in control of themselves and their surroundings. When someone maintains their composure in challenging situations, it signals emotional intelligence, wisdom, and inner strength. Building presence without words requires conscious attention to several elements. The way we carry ourselves physically plays a crucial role. Straight posture, relaxed shoulders, and measured movements all contribute to an era of quiet confidence. Our breathing patterns affect our energy significantly. Slow, deep breaths help maintain internal calm that others can sense. Even the pace at which we move through space can communicate volumes about our inner state. Respect earned through composure is more enduring than respect demanded through forceful words or actions. When we maintain our calm in situations that would typically provoke an emotional response, we demonstrate a level of self-mastery that others admire and seek to emulate. This form of respect isn't based on fear or authority, but on genuine appreciation for one's character and presence. The workplace offers countless opportunities to demonstrate the power of calm energy. During heated meetings, the person who maintains their composure while others become agitated often becomes the voice of reason that others turn to. In crisis situations, the individual who remains steady becomes an anchor for the entire team. This natural leadership emerges not from asserting authority, but from exemplifying stability. Interestingly, calm energy has a ripple effect on our environment. When we maintain our composure, we create a space where others feel safe to express themselves without judgment. This environmental influence can transform team dynamics, personal relationships, and even casual interactions with strangers. People unconsciously mirror the energy they encounter, making a calm presence a powerful tool for positive change. Cultivating calm energy requires practice and self-awareness. It begins with understanding our emotional triggers and developing strategies to maintain composure when faced with challenges. Regular practices like meditation, mindful breathing, or gentle exercise can help build this internal reservoir of calm. The key is consistency. Maintaining this energy not just in easy moments, but especially during difficult ones. The most remarkable aspect of calm energy is its authenticity. Unlike forced behaviors or rehearsed responses, genuine composure comes from a place of inner peace and self-acceptance. When we're truly comfortable with ourselves, we don't need to fill silence with unnecessary words or nervous energy. This authentic calm becomes our natural state, requiring no effort to maintain or project. The respect that calm energy attracts is a natural consequence of being centered and present. It's not something we need to pursue actively. Rather, it finds us when we maintain our inner peace regardless of external circumstances. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, the ability to maintain calm energy becomes not just a personal asset, but a gift to everyone around us. Lesson 5. Success flows through stillness. In a world that celebrates loud achievements and public victories, the quiet path to success often goes unnoticed. Yet, some of the most remarkable accomplishments in history have emerged from moments of stillness and silent determination. The relationship between quietude and achievement runs deeper than most realize, creating a foundation for sustainable success that outlasts the temporary highs of loud victories. Success through stillness begins with clear decision-making. When we remove ourselves from the constant chatter and noise of daily life, we access a deeper level of wisdom within ourselves. This is where our most important choices become clear, unburdened by external opinions and societal pressures. Quiet people naturally gravitate toward this state, taking time to process decisions thoroughly before acting. This thoughtful approach leads to fewer mistakes and more strategic movements toward their goals. The productivity that flows from peace is remarkably different from the frantic energy of constant motion. Quiet achievers understand that true productivity isn't measured by the number of tasks completed or words spoken, but by the impact of their actions. They create spaces of silence in their workday, allowing their minds to process complex problems and generate innovative solutions. This approach might seem counterintuitive in a culture that values constant activity, but it creates a sustainable path to achievement that doesn't lead to burnout. Consider the success stories of quiet achievers throughout history. Rosa Parks changed the course of civil rights with her quiet but powerful refusal to move. Warren Buffett has built his empire through thoughtful, quiet analysis rather than flashy deals. These individuals demonstrate that monumental success often comes not from being the loudest in the room, but from being the most centered and clear in one's purpose. The stillness approach to success also manifests in the way quiet people handle challenges. Instead of reacting immediately to obstacles, they take time to observe, analyze, and strategize. This pause between stimulus and response often leads to more elegant solutions than quick, reactive decisions. It's in these moments of quiet contemplation that innovative approaches emerge, setting quiet achievers apart from their more vocal counterparts. Professional environments are beginning to recognize the value of quiet achievement. Many organizations are creating quiet spaces for deep work, acknowledging that their most valuable breakthroughs often come from periods of uninterrupted focus rather than constant collaboration. Quiet people have naturally understood this principle, instinctively seeking out conditions that allow their minds to work at their best. The connection between stillness and success extends to personal growth as well. Quiet individuals often develop a strong sense of self-awareness through their natural inclination toward reflection. This self-knowledge becomes a powerful tool in navigating career choices, relationships, and personal development. They understand their strengths and limitations clearly, allowing them to make decisions that align with their authentic selves. Success flowing through stillness also means maintaining composure during victories. Quiet achievers tend to celebrate their accomplishments with grace and humility, understanding that true success speaks for itself. This approach builds long-term respect and creates opportunities for continued growth, as others come to trust and rely on their steady, thoughtful presence. The practice of finding success through stillness isn't about remaining silent at all times or avoiding necessary communication. Instead, it's about understanding when silence serves better than speech, when reflection yields better results than immediate action, and when being still creates more progress than constant motion. This wisdom, natural to quiet people, creates a sustainable path to achievement that benefits not only themselves, but also those around them. As we continue to navigate an increasingly noisy world, the power of achieving through stillness becomes more valuable. Quiet people have always understood this truth, and their approach to success offers important lessons for anyone seeking to accomplish their goals while maintaining their peace of mind and authenticity. Lesson 6. Inner peace beats outer noise. In a world that constantly bombards us with noise, opinions, and chaos, developing inner peace becomes not just a luxury, but a necessity for survival and growth. The ability to maintain emotional equilibrium amid external turbulence is what sets quiet individuals apart, allowing them to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Emotional resilience starts with understanding that inner peace is a choice we make moment by moment. When faced with chaos, quiet individuals don't immediately react. They respond from a place of centeredness. This isn't about suppressing emotions or avoiding conflict. It's about developing the capacity to process experiences without being overwhelmed by them. Like a deep-rooted tree that bends but doesn't break in strong winds, emotional resilience allows us to stay grounded while adapting to life's storms. Creating personal boundaries is essential in maintaining this inner sanctuary. Quiet people understand that not every situation demands their energy or attention. They carefully choose their battles and know when to step back from draining environments or relationships. This boundary setting isn't selfish. It's self-preservation. It involves learning to say no without explanation, leaving situations that don't serve our peace, and prioritizing activities that restore our energy. External pressures come in many forms: workplace demands, social expectations, family obligations, and the constant noise of social media. Managing these pressures requires developing a strong internal filter. Quiet individuals excel at this by maintaining a clear distinction between what truly matters and what's merely urgent noise. They understand that not every email needs an immediate response, not every conversation requires their input, and not every trend demands their participation. The practice of staying centered in chaos is like developing a mental sanctuary. This involves creating daily rituals that ground us, whether it's morning meditation, evening walks, or moments of complete silence throughout the day. These practices aren't escapes from reality. They're tools that help us engage with life more effectively. When we're centered, we can observe the chaos around us without becoming part of it. Physical space plays a crucial role in maintaining inner peace. Quiet people often create environments that reflect their inner state, clean, uncluttered, and calm. This might mean designating a specific area in their home for reflection, maintaining a minimalist workspace, or simply ensuring their surroundings support rather than drain their energy. The external environment becomes an extension of their internal state, creating a feedback loop that reinforces their peace. Developing emotional resilience also means understanding that inner peace isn't a constant state, but rather a practice. There will be days when external noise penetrates our carefully constructed boundaries, when chaos seems overwhelming, or when our center feels slightly off. The key is not to aim for perfect peace, but to develop the ability to return to our center more quickly after disruption. The relationship between inner peace and outer noise is particularly relevant in our digital age. Social media, news cycles, and constant connectivity can create a perpetual state of mental agitation. Quiet individuals master the art of digital boundaries, knowing when to disconnect, when to engage, and how to maintain their peace in an increasingly connected world. They understand that being informed doesn't mean being constantly plugged in. This mastery of inner peace manifests in various ways: better decision-making, improved relationships, enhanced creativity, and greater overall life satisfaction. When we're not constantly reacting to external stimuli, we can access deeper levels of wisdom and intuition. Our actions become more purposeful, our words more meaningful, and our presence more impactful. Inner peace becomes a source of strength that radiates outward, influencing others without deliberate effort. It creates a natural buffer against life's challenges while attracting opportunities and relationships that align with our authentic selves. In a world that often equates noise with importance, the quiet strength of inner peace stands as a powerful testament to the truth that real power needs no announcement. Lesson 7. Quiet confidence speaks loudest. True confidence doesn't require fanfare or constant verbal assertions of one's abilities. The most powerful form of confidence often manifests in silence, radiating through presence and actions rather than words. Quiet confidence is like a deep river. Its power lies beneath the surface, steady and unwavering, without the need to announce its strength. The foundation of quiet confidence begins with self-awareness and self-acceptance. When we truly understand and embrace our capabilities, we no longer feel compelled to prove ourselves through excessive talking or self-promotion. This internal certainty creates a natural magnetism that draws others toward us. It's the difference between someone who constantly tells others how qualified they are versus someone who simply demonstrates their expertise through consistent, competent action. Leadership takes on a different dimension when approached from a place of quiet confidence. Quiet leaders often excel at listening, observing, and making thoughtful decisions. They create environments where team members feel heard and valued, not overshadowed by a dominant personality. Their authority stems from wisdom and measured responses rather than forceful declarations or dramatic gestures. These leaders understand that confidence shown through careful attention and strategic silence often earns more respect than bold proclamations. Mastering nonverbal communication becomes particularly crucial for those who embrace quiet confidence. The way we carry ourselves, maintain eye contact, and respond to others through subtle facial expressions and body language can convey more authority than words ever could. A slight nod, a knowing smile, or a composed posture during challenging situations speaks volumes about our self-assurance. These nonverbal cues become our primary language, allowing us to communicate strength and certainty without saying a word. The power of quiet confidence extends beyond professional settings into our personal relationships and daily interactions. When we're genuinely confident, we don't feel the need to fill every silence or dominate every conversation. We become comfortable with pauses and natural lulls in dialogue, understanding that these moments often lead to deeper connections and more meaningful exchanges. This comfort with silence itself becomes a manifestation of our self-assurance. Developing quiet confidence requires practice and patience. It involves learning to trust our inner voice while resisting the societal pressure to be constantly vocal or visibly assertive. We begin by observing more and speaking less, choosing our moments of verbal contribution with intention and purpose. This selective communication adds weight to our words when we do speak, making our contributions more impactful and memorable. The relationship between silence and confidence creates a powerful feedback loop. As we become more comfortable with quiet moments, our confidence grows naturally. This increased confidence, in turn, makes us even more comfortable with silence, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of personal growth. We begin to recognize that our value isn't diminished by choosing to observe rather than speak, and that our presence can be felt strongly without constant verbal affirmation. In a world that often equates assertiveness with volume, quiet confidence stands out as a refreshing and powerful alternative. It challenges the notion that we must be the loudest voice in the room to be influential. Instead, it proves that true confidence can speak volumes through silence, thoughtful actions, and measured responses. This form of confidence becomes a cornerstone of personal and professional success, allowing us to lead, influence, and connect with others in more meaningful ways. The art of quiet confidence transforms how others perceive and respond to us. It creates an aura of mystery and depth that intrigues people and makes them lean in to understand more. When we master this skill, we find that our silence becomes our strength, our restraint becomes our power, and our quiet presence becomes our most eloquent statement of confidence. Lesson 8. Less talk brings more peace. In a world that often equates silence with awkwardness and constant chatter with confidence, the art of selective speaking emerges as a powerful tool for personal peace and well-being. When we consciously choose to speak less, we open ourselves to a profound transformation that touches every aspect of our lives. This practice isn't about becoming completely silent or withdrawing from social interaction. Rather, it's about understanding the value of intentional communication and the peace that follows. Speaking less allows us to conserve our mental and emotional energy. Every word we speak requires energy, not just physical energy to produce sound, but emotional energy to produce sound, but emotional energy to process thoughts, formulate responses, and manage the social dynamics of conversation. When we practice selective speaking, we retain this valuable energy for more meaningful pursuits. Think of your energy as a finite resource, like a battery. Each unnecessary word drains this battery while thoughtful silence recharges it. The practice of intentional silence brings an unexpected joy, the discovery of solitude's richness. In these quiet moments, we find space for self-discovery, creativity, and deep reflection. Many people fear silence because they've never experienced its benefits, but those who embrace it discover a sanctuary within themselves. This internal refuge becomes increasingly valuable in our hyper-connected world, where constant noise and communication have become the norm. Quietude also enhances our ability to listen, not just to others, but to our own intuition. When we're not constantly preparing our next response or filling every silence with words, we become more attuned to subtle signals around us. We notice body language, emotional undercurrents, and environmental cues that we might otherwise miss. This heightened awareness leads to better decision-making and more meaningful connections with others. The benefits of speaking less extend into our relationships as well. When we choose our words carefully and speak only when necessary, our words carry more weight. People learn to listen more carefully to what we say because they know we don't speak without purpose. This selective communication creates a natural respect and attention that loud, constant talkers rarely achieve. Energy conservation through quietude manifests physically as well as mentally. Speaking less reduces stress on our vocal cords, lowers blood pressure, and can even improve sleep quality. The physical act of remaining quiet allows our bodies to maintain a more balanced state, free from the constant stimulation of speech and social interaction. Finding joy in solitude becomes natural as we embrace speaking less. We discover that we don't need constant conversation to feel fulfilled or connected. The quiet moments become opportunities for growth rather than gaps to be filled. This comfort with silence translates into greater self-sufficiency and emotional stability. Many wonder how to begin this practice of speaking less. Start by observing your current speaking patterns. Notice how often you speak without real purpose. To fill silence, to repeat what others have said, or to voice thoughts that add little value to a conversation. Then, gradually introduce more intentional pauses into your day. Before speaking, ask yourself if your words are necessary, helpful, or meaningful. The practice of speaking less doesn't mean becoming passive or disconnected. Instead, it means choosing quality over quantity in our communications. When we do speak, our words become more impactful, our presence more meaningful, and our connections more authentic. The peace that comes from this practice isn't just personal. It radiates outward, creating a calmer environment for everyone around us. Speaking less is a journey toward inner peace, not a destination. Some days will naturally require more communication than others, and that's perfectly fine. The goal is to develop awareness around our speech patterns and to make conscious choices about when and how we use our words. Through this practice, we discover that true peace often lies not in what we say, but in what we choose not to say. Lesson 9. Silence creates natural authority. Natural authority doesn't stem from raising one's voice or demanding attention. It flows from a deep well of inner composure and measured responses. When quiet individuals embrace their natural tendency toward careful observation and thoughtful action, they often find themselves wielding significant influence without ever having to announce their presence forcefully. The concept of leading through presence rather than proclamation has deep historical roots. Consider the traditional Japanese tea master, who commands respect not through loud declarations, but through precise, deliberate movements and an air of complete absorption in their craft. This same principle applies across all spheres of life, from the workplace to personal relationships. The person who speaks only when necessary, choosing their words with care and delivering them with conviction, naturally draws others into their orbit. Authority born of silence manifests in subtle yet powerful ways. When a quiet person enters a room, their composed demeanor often creates a ripple effect, causing others to unconsciously moderate their own behavior. This phenomenon occurs because silence, when wielded with purpose, creates space for reflection and consideration. In meetings, the quiet authority figure listens intently, absorbing information and perspectives before offering their carefully considered insights. When they do speak, their words carry extra weight precisely because they've been preceded by thoughtful silence. The practice of restraint in communication serves as a cornerstone of quiet authority. By resisting the urge to fill every silence or respond to every provocation, quiet leaders demonstrate a level of self-control that commands respect. This restraint extends beyond verbal communication to encompass all aspects of behavior. The measured pace of movement, the steady gaze, and the unhurried response all contribute to an aura of authority that requires no verbal reinforcement. Quiet leadership principles center around the idea that actions and presence speak louder than words. These leaders excel at creating environments where others feel heard and valued, not through constant verbal affirmation, but through attentive listening and thoughtful responses. They understand that authority isn't about dominating conversations or spaces, but about fostering an atmosphere where meaningful interaction can flourish. The power of presence manifests most clearly in crisis situations. While others might react with immediate and vocal responses, the quiet authority figure maintains their composure, creating a center of calm in the storm. This steady presence often proves more effective at guiding teams through challenges than any amount of loud direction or frantic activity. People naturally look to those who maintain their equilibrium when chaos threatens to overwhelm. Building influence through presence requires consistent practice and self-awareness. It involves developing a keen understanding of when to hold space, and when to hold space, and when to step forward, when to maintain silence, and when to speak. This discernment comes from deep observation and experience, allowing quiet leaders to recognize the subtle currents of group dynamics and respond appropriately. The authority of restraint extends beyond professional settings into personal relationships and community involvement. Quiet individuals who have mastered this approach often find themselves sought out for advice and guidance, not because they actively pursue such roles, but because their measured approach inspires trust and confidence. Their careful consideration of situations and thoughtful responses create a foundation of reliability that others naturally gravitate toward. In cultivating quiet authority, consistency proves essential. The power of this approach lies not in occasional displays of composure, but in the steady maintenance of a centered presence. This consistency builds trust over time, establishing a reputation for reliability and wisdom that far outlasts any momentary assertion of authority through force or volume. As we navigate an increasingly noisy world, the value of quiet authority becomes ever more apparent. Those who can maintain their composure and lead through presence rather than proclamation find themselves uniquely positioned to influence others positively. Their example demonstrates that true authority needs no announcement. It simply is, manifesting naturally through consistent, mindful presence and thoughtful action. Lesson 10. Power needs no announcement. True power exists quietly, like the depths of an ocean beneath its surface. Throughout this journey of understanding quiet strength, we've explored various aspects of silent influence, and now we arrive at a fundamental truth. Genuine power requires no fanfare. The most profound impacts often occur without announcement, spreading like ripples through still water. Living confidently without external validation is an art that quiet individuals naturally master. When you understand your worth, you no longer need constant affirmation from others. This self-assured state emerges from deep self-knowledge and acceptance, not from loud proclamations of achievement or ability. Consider how nature's most powerful forces operate. Gravity shapes our entire existence without making a sound, and photosynthesis transforms our world in perfect silence. The strength of subtle impact manifests in countless ways throughout our daily lives. A gentle smile can change someone's entire day. A moment of thoughtful silence can defuse tension more effectively than any argument. A quiet presence can provide comfort without a single word being spoken. These subtle actions create lasting change precisely because they don't demand attention or recognition. Quiet individuals often leave the most memorable impressions on others. Think about the people who have truly influenced your life. Chances are, many of them weren't the loudest or most outspoken. Instead, they likely possessed a certain quality that drew others to them naturally. This magnetic presence stems from their comfort with silence and their ability to exist confidently without constantly announcing their thoughts or achievements. Embracing your quiet nature becomes easier when you recognize that power doesn't diminish with silence. It grows. Much like a tree that grows stronger and more stable with each passing season, your influence develops naturally through consistent, quiet action, rather than loud declarations. This understanding liberates you from the pressure to constantly prove yourself or compete for attention in a noisy world. The ability to impact others without announcement also creates a unique form of respect. When people discover your capabilities through observation rather than self-promotion, their respect tends to be more genuine and lasting. This organic recognition often leads to deeper, more meaningful connections and opportunities that align with your authentic self. Your quiet nature is a gift that allows you to observe, understand, and influence the world in profound ways. By embracing this aspect of yourself, you tap into a reservoir of strength that doesn't require external validation or constant expression. The confidence that comes from this understanding enables you to move through life with grace and purpose, knowing that your impact is no less significant for being subtle. As you continue your journey of quiet influence, remember that the most powerful forces in our universe operate without announcement. Your strength lies not in how loudly you can proclaim your presence, but in the depth and authenticity of your silent impact. Every quiet moment, thoughtful pause, and gentle action contributes to your unique form of power, one that needs no announcement to change the world around you. The path forward involves continuing to trust in your quiet strength while remaining true to your nature. Let your actions speak for themselves and allow your presence to naturally influence those around you. In doing so, you embody the ultimate truth about power. Those who possess it rarely need to announce it. Your quiet nature is not just a characteristic. It's a powerful force that shapes the world in its own subtle, profound way.